afternoon, everybody. The sun is shining brightly, and over 80,000 fans are ready for the AFC Championship game. The Bills and the Broncos, Jim Kelly and John Elway, two of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL. Only one of them will be packing to go to the Super Bowl. A beautiful day for what should be a high-scoring game.
Great day for football. Great day for football, Al. Okay, man, let's go out and have some fun. Do the best you can. That's all we can do. Ready?
Go, baby, let's go!
Even a 10 o'clock scholar knows that the championship games are pro football's 11th hour. But it wasn't the 3 R's which interested the Bills defense. It was the 3 P's, as in pummel, pursue, and pounce. And although pigskin professors aren't much on studying, they don't mind the occasional cram session. For all the persistence in Rich Stadium last Sunday, the real story wasn't the hits, but the misses. Missed opportunities, to be precise. Buffalo cornerback Kirby Jackson didn't pocket a pick, as the officials correctly ruled that he didn't have possession. Though the call was sound, it created a fury, but it signified nothing.
Hey, we know what's about. We know what we're here for. All business, all business. All business, baby.
All right, let's get a pick now. This series, we got to get a pick.
While the Bills' defense was inches away from great plays, their offense was being whipped within an inch of its life. While safety Dennis Smith was making the big hits, a big interception came from an unlikely quarter.
In about 6.5, ball is tipped into the air and caught. I believe the Broncos intercepted at the 28-yard line. Cragen went diving for it and caught it just off the turf. Well, you have no
Greg Cragen's first career interception provided the Broncos with the game's first scoring opportunity, and a sign of things to come.
Treadwell trying to put Denver on the scoreboard first. The snap, the kick on the way, and it is no good. Wide left.
David Treadwell's miss kept the game scoreless, but it couldn't keep Denver from mounting another drive. Mixing slants, scrambles, and screens, Elway moved the Broncos down the field.
Margin, baby! Margin, baby!
Having already missed 2 chances, Treadwell got a 3rd chance to score the game's first 3 points.
And 3 points are going to look mighty big on that board if he makes it. The put down and the kick is up, and this one is no good. He hit the upright again.
Hello.
He hit the right upright again.
Brother.
I don't believe it.
Oh, I see fans pointing up to the sky saying thank you.
4 times now the Broncos have been down there, and 4 times the Buffalo Bills have dodged the bullet.
Indeed, but despite the 0-0 score, the would-be shootout was only half finished.
Everybody up, let's go.
H2O.
Let's go, man, come on.
Everybody up.
Let's go, everybody.
One more time, baby. One more hands, baby.
All right, guys, listen up. They're kicking into the win here. That means they think they can win in the 4th quarter. Let's bust their ass right here in the 3rd quarter. It's been hours.
30 minutes, baby.
After completely shutting down the Bills in the first half, the Denver defense appeared to be bending midway through the 3rd quarter. But once again, the Broncos wouldn't be broken.
Bills need almost 7 on this 3rd down play, and they fake. He rolls, he looks, he throws, and it's intercepted. And stepping out of bounds on the play is Tyrone Braxton, the quarterback. Defense, the name of the game.
Indeed, and 2 plays later, it was the Bills' defense that came up with the play of the game.
Elway coming up under center, and he's going back to throw. A little screen pass, batted down and intercepted by Carlton Bailey. He runs in for the touchdown. He runs in for the score. It is pandemonium. Carlton Bailey intercepted it, broke a tackle,
Previously unknown linebacker Carlton Bailey will now forever be remembered for this play, but it was nose tackle Jeff Wright's keen memory that helped make it happen. Earlier in the game, Wright had been burned when his all-out rush on John Elway left an opening for the Bronco quarterback to dump the ball to freed-up running back Steve Sewell. The Broncos utilized this middle screen often, and Wright remembered. So when Denver set it up again with Sewell ready to come free off a block, Wright stayed back to disrupt the passing lane. The resulting tip to Bailey may well have been the biggest play of the Bills' season. It was only fitting that a scoreless third quarter tie should be broken with a defensive touchdown. After all, both defenses played at a championship caliber throughout the day. But now it was Dan Reeves' defense that found itself on the short end of a 7-0 score through no fault of its own.
7 damn points and we losing. We ain't gave up nothing.
The AFC's #1 ranked defense wasn't giving up much of anything as it held the NFL's most potent all-around weapon, Thurman Thomas, to just 72 yards on 26 carries. But Denver's inspired defensive effort couldn't erase that 7-0 deficit. And midway through the fourth quarter, Buffalo looked to put the game seemingly out of reach.
Okay, if he makes this, boys, you can go home and pack your bag. There's the put down, the kick is up, and it is long enough, and it is good! It is good! Scott Norwood has put this crowd on its feet!
How sweet that is for Scott Norwood. Listen to this crowd of over 80,000 realizing 4 minutes and 18 seconds away from another trip.
It appeared only a miracle could keep the Bills away from Minnesota. And unfortunately for the Broncos, their miracle maker was in no condition to produce one this day. John Elway had sustained a deep thigh bruise earlier in the game, and by the fourth quarter, the pain became too great for him to continue. So Elway could only watch as 9-year backup Gary Kubiak tried his turn at driving the Broncos to an impossible victory. In what would be his last game before his retirement, Kubiak had perhaps the finest quarter of his career, completing 11 of 12 passes for 136 yards, making him the game's unlikeliest leading passer. Kubiak drove the Broncos 85 yards to their first score with under 2 minutes to play.
I'll tell you, give Kubiak credit to come in cold in a game like this in a hostile environment. 1:47 to play, the Bills leading 10-0. And he's going to run, and he dives forward, and is he there? Yes, touchdown! Gary Kubiak has brought the Broncos back. Incredible. 10-6 now with the extra point coming up to be followed immediately by the onside kickoff.
Ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. We're going to get this, baby. We're going to get this one. Don't be offside, y'all. Don't be offside.
They line 7 people at the 20-yard line, and here they come. One, Treadwell's kick. Bounces high. Denver's got it, I believe. I believe Denver's got it at the 49-yard line.
Yeah!
One play later, however, Denver's miracle slipped away.
Kubiak has been brilliant. He backs up in the pocket and lets it fly short, and Sewell is swung around and loses the ball. It is Bill's ball. It is Bill's ball.
Number 47, Kirby Jackson's strip of Steve Sewell and subsequent recovery killed the last realistic hope for the Broncos to pull off what could have been the biggest upset in AFC championship history. But Denver's gutty performance wasn't enough to keep the Bills from their second consecutive Super Bowl berth.
And the Bills are going back to the Super Bowl. It is Mission Minneapolis. The Bills have done it again for the second year in a row. We're going to the show. We're going to the show. We're going to the show, baby.
The Bills' ride to victory wasn't a smooth one on Sunday, but it got them where they wanted to go. Back to the big game for another shot at football's biggest prize.
Back to the show. Back to the show.
behalf of everybody in the Buffalo Bills, I accept this trophy with pride for the fans of Buffalo and for the organization. Thank you very much.
Let's move over and have a word here with
That's what it's all about right here.
This is it, baby. Yes!